Right, welcome to ouch, part 5 of where I am and how I got here now. My spiritual thoughts, experiences. So yeah, I'll just say that I had experiences happen in there. I'm not going to talk about that place too much. It's, yeah, no, I don't feel good about it. So, but yeah, anyway, so, yes, so there was, but there's heaps of other stuff that happened as well, but I'm not going to put them all, but, yeah, I remember I went up into a ward one time, and one of the nurse aides was up there, and I went down the end, and then came down, and I said to her, have you got a ghost in here? And she says, yeah, down and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. I said, well, I think he's doing a bit of wandering, because he's not just down there. I can feel him down here too. And so it was a interesting confirmation, So yeah, I can feel him. I have for years. There was a time in the kitchen. I was on night shift. I mean graveyard shift, as you call it. We call it night shift, but graveyard shift. It was about 4 or 5, maybe 5:30 in the morning. I went to get the ice for the wards, as we used to do, take the ice around for the wards early in the morning. And I was thinking the ice, and then I heard a woman just yell at me. She just went, hey, really loud. And I stopped. And I looked around. And there was only one lady there. And she was deaf as a post. And she was making sandwiches, and she had her head down. And then I went back again, and I heard it again. Hey! A woman's voice. I turned around, I looked at her, and she had her head down, and I walked over to her and I said, hi. She says, pardon? I said, you were calling me. She says, no, I wasn't. I said, well, I just heard you twice. She says, no, I wasn't, I didn't call you. And I was like, what the hell? Okay. And then I found out that this lady had obviously, she may have come in from, she may have attached herself to someone or something from up in the wards and come down. And there was a lady there. This woman had said her name, and there was another one who worked there. This same woman had said her name as well. So that confirmed what I'd heard, and I was like, okay. And I thought, well, she mustn't have known my name, because I didn't get blah blah. It was just, hey. So someone was down there trying to get someone's attention, So when I think about the boys and stuff like that, and things like that, it's kind of like, I'm not afraid. I feel quite comfortable with my little children, because I've had far worse happen. But now I understand what's happening now with my boys. I know who they are. I know what it's all about. So there's no fear in there for me about that. It's actually peace. It's actually happiness and joy. And I just feel like grabbing their little spirits and hugging them, because I have such a connection to them. It's like when you're a human and you connect with someone. And no, it's okay. No, it's fine. I'm only doing the video. Thank you. You just feel like you're attaching to their spirit, especially when you love them so much, and you're just attaching to their spirit. But when they don't have a body, their spirit reigns supreme above the human body that holds everything back, So I just want to grab them, I just grab them, give them a big hug, and pardon me, cough. But yeah. But no, I've yes. Oh, another one. I tell you another one we had. we went to pick up a bed of someone who he passed away. He was in the hospital for a while and he passed away. And we went to pick up the bed. The district nurses men would drop off the bed and pick it up after they passed away, palliative care bed. And when I picked it up and I said, your hubby's still here. I can feel him. I never used to hold back. I said, I can feel him. And she goes, I can feel him too. I know he's here. And I said, he's waiting around until he knows you're okay. And she said, yeah, I'm actually moving back to Rotorua or someplace where she was going back to. I think it was Rotorua. And I went, okay, he's just waiting. He's waiting for you to make sure you're okay. And how do I know this? Don't know. Another one, this one here was one that really taught me a lesson, taught me to shut my mouth when I don't know what's going on, which is most of the time. It was a lady, she passed away. And we went and picked up the bed and they didn't need the bed. But when we first went and dropped it off, I said, you've got a... Her mother was still in hospital and the bed was going to be put there, but they didn't end up using it. I said, you've got her husband, or whoever he is. He's around here. He's around here, but he's not here at the moment. And she said to me, no, he's here right now. I can feel him. I said, well, I can't feel him, but I know he's been here. So he's obviously probably in between visiting her and him up at the top. And they didn't really need the bed, so they ended up collected it. We went there and I collected it. So I was telling her, no, I can't feel him. I don't know if he is or not. She was like, no, he's here. I can feel him. I was like, okay, whatever. And then we went to go back and pull the bed apart. She didn't need the bed. We pulled the bed, and there was a certain part of the clip thing that's really hard to get in. It's a real pain to get in. And so we pulled everything apart. And then the guy I was helping, the district nurses guy, Richard, he said, why did you plug that back in? That's the worst part to get out. And I said, I didn't plug anything back in, dude. He goes, yeah, look. I said, I didn't do that, man. He goes, well, it wasn't me. It was someone else, and they were just telling me to shut the hell up. They were saying, yeah, boy, I was here. You know, my daughter knows, you don't. So it was like a bit of a telling off. And I've been told off before by them, a couple of times. That was probably through, oh, I'm not even going to count them actually, I don't know, more than 3 probably. But something, I had an incident happen. There was someone that passed away, and I'm going to keep away from the mortuary, but I'll tell the story. And a family member, I said, we may have to put her in the cooler side because with bodies, certain things happen when they're warm. And she went, oh, okay. And I felt a bolt of energy shake my leg. And it jarred me enough to stop me in mid sentence. And I stopped, and I kind of thought, oh, Jesus. And I went, oh, I'll tell you what, we'll see how it goes, eh? And yeah, that lady didn't want to be put in the freezer. And then she had all her grandchildren around her and stuff like that. And yeah, but I physically felt a jolt when my leg moved, like my knee pushed forward. And it was just her saying, hey, I'm not going in there, buddy. And yeah, we've had that stuff, and the doors have been, on time that we were locked out of the mall, we couldn't get in because this deceased person didn't want to go in the freezer. So we had to call the funeral home and go into the viewing room and wait, and they came and collected them straight away. We've had the elevators jam up with us, at the minute. Yeah, one time I was taking someone down and I started to feel the essence, and I just started to feel very nauseous and ill. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to come to the mortuary, but after that I've got to go because this guy is on me. and I'm not feeling very well. And that's because he was still there, attached to his body. And yeah, so I had to get away from him, and I did. And it's quite good in places like that, especially with the Māori people, because they're very spiritual people, and they're more likely to say nah tukupo than where a European or Pākehā may say, hey, you just don't want to give us a hand, you know? Then you don't have a laugh or something like that. So it's real good. And when we went on the marae one time, with the Māori people, they're very ancestor. They have their ancestors with them. It's very important for them to have their ancestors and the land. That was very important to them, you know. It's usually the clash in most countries, same with the Aborigines. You know, it's the land, the ancestors, and everything always comes before progression and stuff like that. So that's why you have clashes. You have groups of people that are always going to be kind of shaded to the side, because, you know, for thousands of years their deep desire has been in the very thing that other cultures might want to just farm or things like that, you know. And yes, we have a lot of land issues in New Zealand about that. But yeah, we were in the meeting house, and they had all these pictures of all the people, and I could feel these people, not individual people, but there was, oh actually, okay, there was a couple. There was one in particular, one man, and his photo was up there, and it was an old, and I knew he was there, and there were people in that place who were warriors. There were people who fought, killed, and were killed, and they were there, and there were also lots of other people as well. But these real old ones, staunch old ones, that would just stick a puddle in your head if you weren't, you know, of that group, of that Iwi tribe, and you were in the wrong place. And he was there looking at us with interest. You know, you think, oh man, there's some white people down there that bloody well come and cause us a lot of problem and all that. But it wasn't like that at all, because we'd been welcomed on the marae. What they do is they kind of initiate you in to the iwi, and so it's okay. So these elders are kaitihakis, you know, like guardians and stuff, who were there, and I just found it very overwhelming being watched by so many spirits. And I didn't want to offend anybody, and I said, can I go outside? I said, there's so many people in here, you know, it's getting too clogged up, it's getting too many people. And they knew what I was talking about, so they were really good. Māori people are really good like that. They're pretty good, very spiritual people, and they're like, yeah, no, it's okay. You're actually giving them a compliment by doing that, because you're saying, he just confirmed our ancestors are here. And I say they certainly are, and it's a bit too many eyes for me, but there were staunch people, and there was one particular, you know, he was staunch, but he watched, he enjoyed to watch, he liked to watch, he was so curious and interested in watching everything, you know. Anyway, I've got to do the next video, okay, so next one's going to be the last one. Okay, thank you.